méchant à la fois, t'es maintenant que la coupe que Lord Stanley a donnée. So it's not baseball, but that's the big trophy for the National Hockey Championship. And you're going to hear that noise for the first little bit. It's the water clearing out of the bus from the last tour. Alors le bruit qu'on va entendre, c'est l'eau qui sort du système du dernier tour. So don't worry, you're going to hear it again. Alors on va entendre le bruit encore une fois. So yes, does anybody have a favorite hockey team? Est-ce qu'on a une équipe de hockey préférée? The Edmonton Oilers. There you go. So the brown building in front of us is the National Arts Center. Many artistic performances there, Broadway symphonies, orchestras, and so on. Alors, devant nous, c'est le Centre national des arts. I can say more things. It's just, I know there's a big group of 37, so I figured, okay. Alberta, okay. So beautiful Parliament Hill is here on your right. Now, most people would assume that our Prime Minister's main office would be inside of one of those buildings, but it's actually inside of this building, just here on the corner on the left, the Privy Council office. Here on your right is West Block, and that is where the House of Commons works. It is the original building of 1849, and you can take tours of the House of Commons as well as the Senate. So the last building just ahead of us here on your left before the lights, that is the Wellington building, and this is where members of the opposition work. Through the lights on the right hand side is Confederation building. Members of Parliament work here. It is beautiful Gothic style architecture, just like Parliament Hill. We had Canada Day on July 1st. Does anybody know what the word Canada means? What does it mean? Village. So the word Canada comes from the indigenous word Kanata, K-A-N-A-T-A, which means village. So Canada became Canada in 1867 through Confederation. Before that, we were part of British North America. And before that, we were a French colony, so that's why we have the French and the English. So Pete is going to do his magic now. We're entering the water via the Hull Marina. That is Jacques Cartier Park here on our left. Ottawa River. The Ottawa River is about 1,200 kilometers in length, and it starts in northern Ontario and it goes all the way to Montreal. The Love Boat soon will be taking another run. The Love Boat. So the last boat coming up on your left, that's my boat. No, I'm kidding. Actually, Keith gets mad at me when I start talking about other boats. I'm not allowed to do that. He gets a little jealous. So, they'll cut me off. Hey, Keith, when I talk about other boats? There you go. We love the amphibus. And the beautiful Ottawa River. My friends, the Ottawa River was used for centuries by our first people. It's through this very area that the explorers entered the region in the 1500s. And in the 1600s and 1700s, we had the big fur trade. And in the 1800s, we had the timber trade. So you see thousands and thousands of logs floating down the Ottawa River, quite often destined for Europe. In fact, the word Ottawa comes from the indigenous word Odawi, which means to trade. So the word Canada means village, and the word Ottawa means to trade. In a moment, if you look to your far left, you're going to see the 8 locks that begin the Rideau Canal. The Bytown Museum is also down that way. The museum is situated inside the oldest stone home in Ottawa. And you can go there and see some of the tools that they used to build the Rideau Canal. We're going under the beautiful Alexandra Bridge, and it makes me so sad to say that in the year 2025, we're going to be taking down this bridge. I hope they rebuild one that looks like it a lot, because it's just so gorgeous. Ottawa won't look the same without it. So for those of you who don't know, a lock is like an elevator for boats. So if you have your boat up there in the Rideau Canal and you want to come down here into the Ottawa River, well, that drop is about 95 feet. So you would bring your boat through those 8 locks. Now to bring the boats down, we remove the water. To bring the boats up, we add the water. So it takes about 30 minutes to go through each of those 8 locks. So you're looking at about 4 hours to bring your boat down, or 4 hours to bring it back up. Does anybody have one of these at home? Maybe an old $1 bill? You do? Well, you might remember, if you ever looked at the photo, if you're older like me, you would remember anyways, there's a little white boat. Remember the little white boat with all the logs around, and then you can see Parliament Hill in the background? Well, that little white boat is called the Missy Navy, and there's the Missy Navy coming up just ahead of us on your right. And you can see parts of the Notre Dame Basilica up there as well. The building that looks like a smaller castle, well, that is... Oh, nobody likes to talk about that building, actually. We'll skip that one. So beside the one we're not going to talk about, no, I have to mention it, I guess, eh? Just in case. Revenue Canada, it's where we pay the taxes. It's called the Connaught Building, named after the Duke of Connaught. Once you give them your tax money, you cannot get it back.
Honk the horn, man!
To your left, that is Gatineau in the province of Quebec, and the word Quebec means where the river narrows. So once again, the population of Ottawa, about 1 million people. Ottawa and Gatineau together, about 1.4 million. So on your left, that is Jacques Cartier Park, named after the French explorer who found his way into Canada in 1534. So that park is very special during Winterlude in the month of February. We bring in hundreds of truckloads of snow, and we create giant slides and ice sculptures. Truly a winter wonderland. So what other festivals do we have? We talked about Blues Fest already. We have the Hot Air Balloon Festival on September long weekend at Park of the Bay in Gatineau, just down the road. So during that festival, the sky is filled with all sorts of beautiful hot air balloons of all shapes and colors. So the tulip is the official flower of Ottawa, and there's more than 1 million tulips in the Ottawa-Gatineau region during that festival. So how it started, though, is very, very interesting. The year was 1942, and Princess Juliana of the Netherlands came here to be in security during World War II. She came here with her daughter Beatrice, as well as her daughter Irene, who while she was here, she's also pregnant with a 3rd child, baby Margaret. So that was great news, but it also created a lot of problems, because in order to send to the throne, the child would need to be born on Dutch soil. So what the government of Canada did is we designated Princess Juliana's hospital room as being quote-unquote official Dutch soil, but for that day only. What we also did is we flew the Dutch flag at Parliament Hill, the only time in the history of Canada that a flag other than a Canadian flag had flown. So that's why the Dutch sent us 100,000 tulip bulbs, and we still get tulips to this day. Canada did help liberate Holland during World War II, which helps a lot as well. So here we go, we're going to get out of the water now. Let's go, Keith. Yay! As mentioned, do not try this with your cars, it will not work.